Welcome back to Hippie Bliss Travel. Today we're still in Florence on our first day, but we're doing something fun. It's kind of a part two of day one. We're going to go ride the dune buggies at the Oregon sand dunes. I think it's Recreation area. It's right outside Florence. So we went to Sandland Adventures Family Fun Center, which is like maybe a mile from our hotel we were staying at. Now, online it said that today they were going to close for the season, but once we went in the morning to see if we could get on a dune buggy ride, it turns out they're going to be closed for several days after today, and then they were going to reopen later in the week. So, you turn on to Highway 101, you go, half a block or so, and then this is the road taking us to the sand dunes. And throughout the video, you'll see pictures of the driver. He's in like a full Carhartt body suit type thing. He's got a winter hat, ski goggles, and thick leather gloves on, and we're in sweatshirts and shorts. So we're like, huh, he's dressed for a lot more than we are, but it wasn't that bad. It was a lot of fun. Now, he did give a lot of information as we were going, safety, and learning about how to read the dunes and stuff. But and we could hear it fine when we were in the dune buggy over the engines and stuff. But in the video, you can't hear it. So I'll try to hit some of the highlights. And here we are, just on the dunes. And yes, this is sped up. We went for an hour. The ride was an hour long, and it was $20 a person, if I remember right. So it was $40 for the two of us. And again, Oregon has no sales tax, so it was a flat $40. I think this was the last ride of the day. I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And there was, I think, 20 of us, 20, 25 of us on this ride. And it sold out. Sorry about that. I think there was a little sneeze I was trying to have. I have been homesick for 2 days with, like, I don't know if it's a cold, head cold, something like that. But I'm trying to get this video out, so if I sound funny, that's what's going on. But here's some history. The Oregon Sand Dunes National Recreation Area covers 32,000 to 40,000 acres, stretching 40 to 54 miles along the coast from Florence to Coos Bay. These dunes are the largest expansive coastal sand dunes in North America and featured a varied terrain, including peaks that can reach up to 500 feet. Now here we are heading to, basically we're going to go to the Pacific Ocean. He did stop so we can get some good view pictures, and he has one coming up. This is one of the first spots he stopped to give us a good a view picture. And we're looking south. So yeah, we're looking south here, and showing us, talking about, it's 40 miles long, the sand dunes are. Well, one of the things he talked about quite a bit was, in the early 1900s, the people were worried about the sand dunes eroding away. And for some reason, he had mentioned that everybody thought that the sand was blowing east to west. So they planted all this beach grass. Let's see, what did that say? The invasive beach grass was introduced to Oregon sand dunes in the early 1900s to stabilize the sand and protect the coastal communities, a task it performed successfully by building large dunes. First, they introduced a European beach grass. Then they followed it up later with an American beach grass from the East Coast. However, this has led to the suppression of native plant and animal species and recent discovery of a hybrid that may accelerate the negative impacts. And they've discovered, just cutting it down. They even said they've even tried burning the grass, but it keeps growing back. And one of the things that really helps get rid of it is people walking on it, the dune buggies driving on it. So they said if they don't figure out how to get this under control, the sand dunes may actually disappear within 100 years because this grass is so prevalent and will take over. It is taking over. So the next day we go on our next week we go hike the sand dunes, and since we heard about this as we're on the hiking trail, we're like, oh, that's some of the grass he was talking about. So we made sure we'd step out of our way to step on it to help our part of the of trying to bring it down. And then yeah, we come out. We have big swatches of the sand dunes, and yes, there are other dune buggies. And we did look at doing like a private dune buggy, or just husband and I went out. But that was going to be like several $100s for even a couple hours. And my husband's like, well, we've never been on a dune buggy out on the sand before. He was worried about getting lost and stuff. And so then we thought, well, then when we went to Sandland, they had it where we could do a private dune buggy. It was like a high speed, but they asked our weight, and by our combined weight, we'd have to pay for a third person. And it was a lot more than $20 a person we were paying. So we said, for our first time, let's go out as a group, see what it's like. And here we are at the Pacific Ocean. We stopped for a moment or two to get our pictures, and then we went zipping along the Pacific Ocean. And this is another interesting fact he was telling us about. Before Highway 101 was built, the Oregon Beach Bill in 1913 officially designated the beaches as public highways, allowing for travel on the wet sand at low tide between coastal towns, although this was an inconvenient for those traveling long distance. The Central Coast, including Florence and Coos Bay area, lacked the connecting road between for many years. Traveling the beach was often the only option at low tide. People used wagons, buggies, and early automobiles to travel along the coast. This method was slow and sometimes dangerous, as cars could get stuck in the sand or disabled by waves. With the incoming tide, the road would disappear, making it necessary to wait for the next low tide. Yeah, and once we got out into these dunes, this is one, it became like a roller coaster ride. You go up the big dunes and come down, but this is where the education started coming in. Because we came up the other side, and he's like, if you just don't, if you just came straight down, you might be in some danger because of these wells that are on this side that you couldn't see coming over. Stuff we wouldn't have thought of. And he took the time to explain some of this, and it was really good, interesting. And I'm glad we went on this ride first. And then they were talking tree islands or forest islands. There was like five of them, and they had water, for the wildlife that would accumulate, and they figured, it would be gone soon. It'd evaporate soon, and I think, yeah, this was Labor Day weekend. I think was where this is where we were. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's all I keep saying. It was a lot of fun because this was a lot of fun. Yeah, you're saying if you just come over these dunes and you're not paying attention and you get stuck in here, this is where the accidents all happen. Yeah, and he was talking about these are the waters where the animals that live in these tree forests come. And they said probably in a few weeks most of this would be evaporated for this season. But since it's the fall, everybody knows the fall, October starts the rainy season here in Oregon. So October through basically March, it rains over half the days. So it would accumulate more water. But yeah, this is some of the educational things he was teaching us along the way. Yeah, if you see, I don't know if you can see it, but there is an accident on the right, kind of up on the right hand side there, or it was a disabled vehicle. And then in a couple minutes, you'll see the that law enforcement dune buggy I pointed out earlier will come zipping by, and I figured that's where they're headed to. And here we are wrapping up our adventure on the sand dunes. And we're back to the parking lot where we started. And we're heading on back to Adventureland. Now, for 20 bucks a person, for 40 bucks for two of us, this was a hell of a lot of fun for an hour. If you're ever in the Florence area, highly recommend this. Thank you for watching Hippie Bliss Travel. If you made it to the end, give us a like and a subscribe. And hope to see you next week when we actually go out and hike the sand dunes. Thanks for watching. Bye.